omo na man for do na ebo omo say omo ene champion e slave trade no pa omo na di mu ntintiman ewo ehon especially in Ghana here omo ene na gina mu pa ewo ha say na omo so den omo ka UK has abstained on a UN vote by Ghana calling on former colonial powers to pay reparations to the slave trader cost. So that is what we have on our screens. The UK has abstained on a UN vote by Ghana calling on the former colonial powers to pay reparations for the slave trade. There are roughly 7 million slaves in Africa today. Perhaps they should focus on that if they are so morally outraged by it. So currently, we have some UK journalists. They've started talking about the fact that they are supporting their government. Say say they are not supporting what Ghana has. I mean, Ghana is emotional. Ghana edi akwakoto UN animuno. Enya they say ebe supporting now. As we speak now, they had several reasons, but then in this particular one that I just read, almost say currently we have 7 million slaves in Africa here. Still now, Britain abstains from UK vote, UN votes calling on UK to pay. General Assembly backs resolution condemning forced displacement of Africans as grievous crime against humanity. Into the General Assembly, some of the journalists of more United Kingdom, start here, what their government is saying. Now, was it even anything African countries owe Britain reparations for the blood and treasure she split to enforce the abolition of the slave trade. God bless the West African Squadron. And so any amount for backing or more air back. Now slave trade yankasa said the medical two it got to a time where now it was a mining in Ajitum say enya de yenti so France. And then poor Mukran started almost started saying Chasso. And Sana UK for also Eddie Omo which was led by William Wilberforce in 1807. Or did the Act for Abolition of Slave Trade 1807 or did Ebaya or then so Edebe. So as at that time, somewhere approximately about 46,000 plus slaves. And now pay bika krama omo edija omo kwan omo call back to omo countries. As at that time, more than 30 million plus people omo free abibimemu ha call emu 46,000 per and omo bibi kakra de omo free baby omo some of them had to go back to their countries ebi mo so eka krone so ne ade enti na utiremu a out of 46,000 there are some people who are saying that because as at that time they gave something to those people nti yentwa reparations ne so na ye pe obi mpo a ye be compensate na e was saying Ghana mom na disika koma UK because as at that time no mo make sure say slave trade no over 400 years echi and you are compensating 46,000 people out of 13 million people. And that is what they are currently saying. Aside the fact that people were like, oh, Ghana hano, and I say, Ebibimemu hano, Mrofone bebano na yen ye ton yen call for their momo, and no, and so yen sama na omo edi air to job. But in no, the ayakayaka de yes, can say. Slaves no na enya de ya papa enunti President John Dramani Mahama ama omo edi reparations we so edi abana quickly no United States of America, what are they saying? Quickly ni abekwa kotie omo nsem omo so de tudwa e General Assembly na se na yaba bebiebiem edi amamo nti yenko tie United States of America omo nsem omo de tudwa na emra sese.
The United States remained steadfast in its opposition and condemnation of historic wrongs that resulted from the transatlantic slave trade, the trans-Saharan slave trade, and all other forms of slavery. We remain committed to the acknowledgement that these historical wrongs. Despite this, the United States observes that the text of this resolution remains highly problematic in countless respects. Consequently, the United States cannot support the adoption of this resolution. We regret that the United States must once again remind this body that the United Nations exists to maintain international peace and security. It was not founded to advance narrow, specific interests and agendas, to establish niche international days, or to create new costly meeting and reporting mandates. This resolution does all three. The United States has defined long-standing objectives to the framing of reparatory justice and the duty of reparation for historical wrongs. While we acknowledge the horrors of the past, we do not accept this resolution's assertion that historical facts from the 15th through 19th century constitute violations of jus cogens, as the term is understood in contemporary international law. The United States also does not recognize a legal right to reparations for historical wrongs that were not illegal under international law at the time they occurred. In addition to its obvious legal problems, this resolution is also unclear as to who the recipients of reparatory justice would be. The drafters and supporters of this resolution seem to believe it is them. The United States strongly objects to the cynical usage of historical wrongs as a leverage point in an attempt to reallocate modern resources to people and nations who are distantly related to the historical victims.
All right, enti eno ene ensemo the United States of America almost so edit to a General Assembly no ase ewo ho no mu kire mu a omo ede omo gitum se nkwasom ekoso na eni enyan na eni etan omo hu ne se enya de na wosanke ede ye nipa bia, but reparation na President John Dramani Mahama edi ababetu dwa no omu US for nya de a omu beji atum because omu hu ni say ebeye problematic because say you start say you caught now crime is a crime and a crime nso so ye ntwa so sa ukum obi 100 years na ukodwane ukosie say den ya na echewa we still go back to the 100 years na de was ye de ye ono ye de ayew enti enema esi ye so many years ago. Now say omu nyina agi atum say US agi atum say yes indeed it was the gravest crime ever to happen to humanity, but say ye be kwakoye compensation and patasika bi and as say ombeba be ye niema bi wo Africa her countries are they were me can say mostly affected no and no the omu gitum enye ye because omu hu say e problematic enti omu nsam omu di tudwa e wo hono no oba Ghana has enso so there has been some level of home support omu kasa fa politics ho ne international politics ho no omu so e de omu nsam atudwa omu kire mu yes indeed President John Dramani Mahama ya de obi ti say Kwesi Pratt e di post bi betudwa na ono so ebo President John Dramani Mahama abaso ne juma okodi ye e wo UN General Assembly and the reparations are say we di animu e de eboa UN enti quickly ne be hwe Mr. Kwesi Pratt on your screens was it today at the UN plenary on the transatlantic slave trade. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama introduced a resolution condemning the transatlantic slave trade as a crime against humanity, pushing reparations back onto the global agenda. My book, Reparations, History, Struggle, Politics, and Law, foreword by Mahama, speaks to this moment. Available in Accra and online. So, per ono no nsamo odi tu dwa no, ade papa se President John Dramani Mahama, ne de due ya na se enra ode ekotu dwa e wo UN General Assembly. Ema UN for so ebake no ma onya an overwhelming support free the General Assembly any member countries no honom obi nso te say Oliver Baka Voma won so the post eba ya no so about President John Dramani Mahama abaso wo honom na okiremu a it is a win for Ghana wo honom enti o say Ghana won no Oliver Baka Voma won so de no na yes, that's what we have on your screens. Osaji for Oliver Baka Voma or say Ghana won. Voting results in favor 123 against 3. Almost so Omame Twabani be 52. Now yeah, come back to UK. In as much as said the journalist, and I said Omo kebi a warm journalist, Omo UK, Omo supporting Omo government, and we have some members of parliament, Omo Ekan Labour Party no. In some way, somehow, they are trying to also add their voice to the reparations. And an MP or what the Labour Party name to say Bell Ribeiro Adi Ono MP for Clapham and Brixton Hills. On the post and the wall screens or say the UN delegates just voted to recognize the transatlantic slave trade as a crime against humanity. Britain abstained. UN agiatum say a crime. Nemum Britain almost say this refusal to support this motion only places our government more at odds with the global majority. The call for reparatory justice is only getting louder. So the very last sentence tells you that someone like Bell Ribeiro Adi, who is an MP, or Labour Party, the calls for reparation is now getting louder because because now the compensation itself, the reparation itself, the substance, and I said the reparation I feel na yebe ha to ho nsem e wo honom ne ehu kwan a yebe fa so a yebe ye no enti the call for reparation or the call for reparatory justice is only getting louder. The second part no so chiremu a na UK for be so de I mean omo de matwe omo ho se yenka ho a yenka ho bibia ni ho a mo be ka be kire se yenkoye yeboko yenka ho we just abstain from any reparatory justice in as much as say bi mo agya tum say eye bone enya de na wo se nkomo ye no omo de omo hu ni so omo betwe omo ho afri ho na ye ko US bio President John Dramani Mahama kopiem US no before okoshia the General Assembly oshia on Tuesday at the ninsem tudwa and osabe shia omo bio on Wednesday esadin some two dry we near to abano. Now one of the places okoye New York slave cemetery a honum na okoye wreath laying ceremony be the New York mayor and as a mayor of New York Eddie and some etudwa Eddie Zoran Kwame Mamdani or no any down screens no no na mayor of New York or then some tudwa President John Dramani Mahama Baso ewo ceremony no obeye no na at a point ebi mu hu ne se papa yi o support reparatory justice President John Dramani Mahama champion na mum papa no wantimi anka asem no ensisu ye yenko nekotie the mayor of New York Zoran Kwame Mamdani ni emra sese.
Say first thank you to the President of the Republic of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, for hosting today's wreath laying. Ghana is a nation that holds deep meaning for me. My father gave me the middle name Kwame after Kwame Nkrumah, the first president of Ghana, a leader who fought for freedom.
Zoran Kwame Mamdani ono mayor for New York ono ene de nsem etu dwachiremu a ono ni din Kwame no ni papa na de man no and he was named after Dr. Kwame Nkrumah enti eno ene nsem odi tu dwasan so ebo President John Dramani Mahama Baso for the recognition say ye de ayayade bi ye abebi manfo enti waba be piem a all try so obenya justice for those who were maltreated a slave trade era ne emu ewo honom. And yes, President John Dramani Mahama on the global stage seeking for justice for a slave trade, transatlantic slave trade, a course so ewo a bimemu hasei and yede eno update no ede ebrem. It's a win for Africa, it's a win for Ghana, it's a win for President John Dramani Mahama. And ye say, what is the next step? What is the next step? You and share a minor na omo the reparation aba ana se omo ebeye ne den eno any updates no and quickly no ye be call other updates so na ye de eno so abremo.